into the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Started from the bottom, now we're here.
Lovers of dance and performance reality television, you have come to the right spot. My name is Alikona Bradford, and welcome to Spotlight On. Today, I have the huge honor of bringing to you two-time Emmy-winning choreographers from So You Think You Can Dance, who have also artistically directed, produced, and choreographed for shows like The Voice, X Factor, American Idol, America's Got Talent, and any other reality show with the word America Talent or dance somewhere in there. Their list of credits goes on and on. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce to you some very near and dear friends of mine that are incredibly talented and undeniably humble. Napoleon Tabitha Dumo.
Hello, Allison.
Hi. I'm out of breath after having gotten through all your credits.
By the way, I love your intro song there. That's so true for us.
From the bottom now.
Right? Serious.
All of us.
Yes.
So, first and foremost, for AfterBuzzers who might not be super familiar with your work, obviously you've worked on So You Think You Can Dance. Talk to me a little bit about your experience of now being the face of choreography.
Oh, the face of choreography. You put it out there like that.
I know. Well, I mean, I think being on the show So You Think You Can Dance was definitely a launching pad for us to take it to the next level. As choreographers, most of the time we're behind the scenes. No one knows who creates those steps or how they happen or where they come from and who makes those things up. And because of the show, now they do, you know, and so people are able to recognize us and go, oh, they know that name, and then they see a credit and they go, oh, they're working on that show. Yeah. So it's kind of cool, you know, to have that recognition.
I think it's good for the entertainment industry in general to highlight somebody behind the scenes that is never, you kind of never knew what they did.
Right.
And it's actually brought about a whole new genre or a whole new job description, creative director.
Yeah.
For different shows. So, you know, that's existed for quite a while in our field, but I think a lot of people didn't even know what that is. What do you mean you do American Idol? They don't dance on there.
Right.
But there's so much more to being a choreographer than just the dance steps.
And you've also been, it's official, it's in Wikipedia, so that's how you know you made it, but you have been bestowed the creators of lyrical hip-hop. So what did that mean to you guys to be given such an honor for just being you?
It is a huge honor. I mean, really, at the time when it was all happening, it wasn't intentional. We didn't think about doing it and saying, hey, we're going to start this new style. I mean, you've known us for how long? I mean, we've been just doing what we do all along. We're always story-based, and we always love to have a concept behind our movement. That's what kind of stimulates us in the workshop, I guess, place. But being on So You Think You Can Dance, we had an outlet to just show people, and we were very excited, I think, at that time to show a different side of hip-hop, because we felt like America was only getting to see one portion of what we, you know,
and stereotyping, right?
And stereotyping, and we were like, no, it can be emotional,
but what better
and still
way,
have the foundation of hip hop movement.
What better way to highlight the movement of hip hop, than by, you know, making it story based and letting people be able to feel something when they're seeing that type of movement.
So then why do you think people gravitate towards your movement so much?
Well, I don't know, but I'm happy about it. I think it is the story. It's the story behind it. You know, I think that hopefully that resonates through equally as much as the choreography. There's definitely been some weeks where I would say that dance-wise, I'd look at our contestants and go, maybe they're not doing so good. But the story we gave them felt strong enough that sometimes the judges or America was like, I love that. And I'm like, really? Wow. Okay. So it just shows,
on top.
you know, it shows that we, you know, as people, you know, you can get hooked in on a story or that journey and maybe, you know, not be so focused on the facility that, what they're demonstrating in.
And I'd mentioned in the beginning also, too, that you guys have, won a couple Emmys. No big deal. Just some paperweights, right? No, but you've been nominated for 4, received 2, and to me that's such a huge honor, especially with dance now being at the forefront and in the limelight. What was your guys' reaction when the envelope came and it said, congratulations?
For the nominations, every time, it's been early in the morning, and it's funny because you start getting all these emails from your agent and from other producers in the business and shows maybe that you had been on.
Congrats.
And then you're like, wow, we got them.
Yeah, you don't know until you wake up and because you're sleeping and it's announced, and somehow everybody else finds out before you do, and you pick up your phone. It's like, congrats, great job, way to go, and you're like, does that mean? And then usually we after follow up and jump on the bed and scream a little bit, do a little celebration.
Hey.
This year, usually our son wakes us up in the morning first thing, and this year
we woke him up.
He just was looking at us like, why are mom and dad on the bed jumping around? The first time we won, actually, we didn't expect it. I just said, nobody's gonna pick that over all these amazing pieces that are nominated, and we went up there, had nothing prepared. Both times we were nothing prepared. We jumped around like little kids, kissed a lot, kept saying we love each other. I love you. I love you.
I wanted to be like, I can't believe this shit's happening.
But
That'd be a great speech.
I know, right?
It was crazy. It's a good time.
I actually have a clip we'll pull up. It's a piece that you guys got a lot of recognition for, and I know the first time I watched it, I was like, I know them. My friends choreographed. I was crying. But anyways, here's a piece if you guys want to take a look at it.
Bleeding love.
Yeah.
Oh,
this moment
was the
right
moment.
here.
Yeah, this was the moment.
And she's just living that.
I was just going to say, part of it is, our story that we want to convey. But if they don't come to the plate and they don't deliver it, it's not believable. And you believed with every fiber of her being what she was trying to say right there.
Yeah.
Every routine you put out there, you think, this is the one.
Yeah.
And then depending on how, how the contestants will go in, it's all dependent on them. If she wouldn't have gave that look and he wouldn't have gave that last little moment, and you tell them all the time, you say,
okay,
come on, get the moment. You got to get that moment in there. And some people get it and some people don't. And
It's
when
live
they don't,
TV. It's like, they're either on or they're not.
Yeah.
yeah,
Can
when
we
they
pull
do,
up
it's
other pictures?
magical.
What I was going to say, too, is there have been other pieces. You did one, and this was not even off the top of my head. It was T.I., Justin Timberlake, Dead and Gone. And it was a story about, somebody who was an alcoholic. And I feel like your stories are so relatable, and that's why people are able to...
I think one of our things, us going to dance concerts, this is a funny thing that we do. Going to dance shows and contemporary dance and all these things, and then I say, well, I don't get it. I get bored, and I'm like, what's it about?
But there's
and then
a
they
meaning,
tell me,
and
there's always a meaning, but it's so deep that nobody really gets it. And so I think our goal has always been to say, can everybody understand this? When we first started doing this show, we would show every one of the routines to my sister, who is not a dancer. And then if she would go, oh my God, it's so emotional, we'd be like, got it. But if she would go, I don't get it.
We're like, oh, we're too deep right now. Too deep.
So, that's what we would gauge it off of. Can everybody connect to it?
Do you guys ever feel like you're running dry out of ideas, though, after year doing the show?
Absolutely. Every time we go, okay, this is this week. What are we going to do? How are we going to make it different? And somehow you do. You listen to the song inspires you, and and then something new comes out eventually, but we get worried that, how are you going to keep it fresh? And, especially with hip hop, you have to keep up with the trends because hip hop is ever changing,
right.
So there's that extra pressure conceptually, but then there's also stylistically with your movement and your choices.
So then how do you guys take constructive criticism, or not even constructive criticism, just straight out like someone takes a blow to your work?
Oh, it
hurts. Yeah, it hurts because you already feel that way yourself. You have your own insecurities. Absolutely, every single time you're like, did I do the right job? I should have pushed harder. That's not cool enough. And then when someone says like, oh, that was kind of lame, you're like, oh yeah.
It is the single hardest thing about So You Think You Can Dance, because generally you'll put work out there, and a lot of the times what people don't realize is it's up to the people that are dancing your material.
Right.
So. But they'll blame you if it's not good, especially if you like those people. So you're sitting there, waiting for the judges to judge you and the audience to judge you and
America
America to judge you.
You're like, oh.
And sometimes they'll say bad things and you're just like, keep smiling.
Thank you very much.
We
Nigel.
totally already know. Thank you.
Oh no.
But that,
But that's what makes it entertaining
It's
show,
a chance
too.
you take.
Yeah.
And we wouldn't do it any other way. It's cool that people. I'm glad that people, will comment. It makes us better choreographers and better directors.
So can you guys briefly list, because I know it's a very long list, but of all the shows that you guys have partaken in?
Oh gosh.
All of the shows. Oh
Yeah,
man,
it's a
I don't
lot.
even know.
Okay, we were
Something
back in the day with Rock the Reception.
Oh yeah,
on
we were the
TLC.
hosts of a TLC show called Rock the Reception. That was a bunch of wedding
We
dance.
choreographed a ton of wedding
Dances. Yeah, that was great. Shoot, I mean, do TV award shows count?
Yeah.
So the Grammys, Emmys, American Music Awards,
Billboard.
Teen Choice, Kids Choice, Billboard Music Awards. I don't know, almost all
Everything.
of those. I think.
Everything. The point is it's
We haven't-
basically literally
We haven't
everything.
done the Oscars.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just putting it out there anyone
Keep
to
on-
the universe.
We
You know?
want to do the Oscars.
Yeah. But I mean, and like I mentioned before too, literally every reality performance television show, just like you've touched everything. Have you ever woken up in the morning, just rolled over and looked at each other and go,
Yeah.
holy cow, like we
Every day.
made it.
Every day. We're very grateful. I think
day.
that, both of us, when we met in college, he was going to be a doctor. I was doing PR at one of the casinos in Las Vegas. We met at UNLV.
Weren't you Rito Rhea?
I was Rio Rita. I used to walk around in college as the mascot for Rio Hotel and Casino. I would wear fruit on my head and play Carmen Miranda and say, "Welcome to the Rio." But I've come a long way. And I-
Started
That's
from the
it.
bottom.
And,
there.
Exactly,
you know,
exactly.
it's
I have a
great.
great picture of Napoleon. P.S. By the way, if Marissa can pull that up. Once upon a time, he's probably going to reach over the desk and like smack me later on. But once upon a time, you were in the army.
Wow, how did you get that?
did you
That's
find
totally
that?
You know,
old.
I just have my ways.
Oh,
Wow,
honey,
look at my
you.
monobrow.
And now we know why your brows are so great today.
Wow. Yeah, I was in the army.
Yeah, served in Germany.
Yeah.
What was your mindset back then? Like for the future?
Get some discipline.
Yeah?
He was a
think-
bad kid.
Seriously?
Oh, he was
I
really
was a
bad.
little bad in high school, so I think my dad was a Navy guy, 21 years, and he said, "Son, you got to go in the armed services." So I ended up going to the army, and it was the best thing ever for me.
Really?
Best thing ever. Came out, had 25 grand to go to college, got my degree, and it just taught you a different way to look at life and appreciate life and hard work and how hard work pays off. And yeah, the army was the best.
And then you went to UNLV.
Then
Running
we
Rebels.
met.
Yeah,
Running
and
Rebels.
the
Yeah.
Running Rebels during the heyday, the big days, and the party. Well, that was another thing. I came out of the army and went to the most party place in the world.
I know, Las Vegas. It was we certainly had our fair share of fun times while we were in college.
I
that is
I know
for
you
sure.
guys met at a party, right? But Napoleon, you're a strapping young gentleman. I'm sure you're a ladies' man. What was it about this beautiful lady over here that made you say, "I have to make her mine"?
Oh, she was going out with a
getting
friend,
red.
and then I was
Dated
going
his
out
friend.
with a friend. I was going out with her friend, and then but we secretly kind of liked each other. We wouldn't tell each other, but we became really close friends.
Yeah.
And then one day we hooked up, and off
It was
we
a
went.
skiing trip. We went skiing, and we were
already broke up, by the way.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah,
weren't
we're
cheating on
breaking
her.
up. Yeah.
Yeah, we weren't.
But we went on a skiing trip together again, mutual friends. We're all hanging out, and and then the magic happened.
So then what was it about this guy over here that made you go, ah?
Well, I always found him extremely attractive. I would always be like, oh man, he's so cute, but he's such a player. And I would never take him seriously. So I think that once we became friends and I found out a little bit more of who he was, and I was like, oh, you're actually smart and you actually have a lot to say. And, and when he started to pursue me, I was interested in it, but I did play hard to get for a little while because I felt like he
Yeah,
would
like
have
6
broke
months.
he would have broke my heart. Like I knew if I had given in too quick, he would break my heart, and I made him work hard.
Good for you.
Yeah.
I had to convince her. And then I saw her dance, and I was like, oh, man, it's over. I like you. I wouldn't be dancing if it wasn't for her.
Yeah. I was just going to say, when did dance fit into the picture? Because I know you ended up joining the cheerleading team out in UNLV.
She was a cheerleader, part of the cheerleading team and the dance team. And then I saw her at a party, me and some friends, some really big buff friends, and at the time they said, hey, why don't you guys
We needed
come with us? And we were
stunters.
like, yeah, we don't
Strong
do that.
guys.
And we said, come to the lake with us, and we had a boat and jet skis, so a bunch of her friends came to the lake, and they said, oh, you guys should come to our practice tomorrow. And we're like, yeah, we'll go there, but we're just going to hang
Check
out with
out
the
the
girls.
girls.
Yeah.
And then we got there, and their coach actually offered us, if we came on, a free ride scholarship.
Oh, okay.
That's how
Full
bad
ride,
we
not a
needed
free ride,
guys.
a full ride scholarship.
Yeah.
Everything, books, everything.
Oh, that's
And,
all you need. Yeah.
And that did it for us. All 4 of us that were there jumped on the team, and then we were around 23 gorgeous, beautiful girls every day, and it was a good time.
So mixed all of this, you guys got involved with Culture Shock Las Vegas,
Yes.
which is how we met.
Yes.
It's a fabulous place. Talk to me a little bit about how that influenced your career. And oh, hey, look at that. There's Tabitha.
Wow.
Oh my God, these pictures! I am so excited. Oh
So
my
Tabitha
gosh.
would be the 1, 2, 3rd person
The one with
on
the big
the
hair.
right.
The big hair.
And then we
yes.
have our next picture. If we can go, oh, hey, look at that. There's Napoleon in the red.
Oh my God! That's when we wore
Wow.
outfits that were 3 sizes bigger than your body.
So this was the first hip hop dance company, big hip hop dance company in the country, and there was
cruise, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I guess it was when the cruise first started, and it was best. It was the best thing ever. These guys are still family to us to this day. And in fact, this weekend we're going up to San Francisco to do a 20-year reunion
For San Francisco.
Oh,
for
wow.
San Francisco's or Oakland's one, and it was 20 years ago that we started this thing.
I think honestly, for me, Culture Shock is what made us
have confidence that
have
we could be
confidence that-
dancers
yeah.
as a profession.
Yeah, I mean, if it wasn't for stumbling on to that organization and being a part of Culture Shock, I don't think we would be here today doing what we're doing
Definitely
at all.
we would not.
It was a community of dancers. We learned, we trained, we traveled, we got teaching experience. Because I did PR in college, I came up with I did our own press kit, and I would hustle us work, so we would be choreographing for industrials in the city, and it just sort of made us realize, that maybe we could do this as a career, which it started out as a hobby and just something that we loved doing on the side of our regular lives. 20-some years later, we're still doing it.
For me, it gave us the confidence to know that regular people like to watch dance.
Yeah.
Because prior to that, we thought, street dance and dance in general stuck right into our. It's just amongst us artists. We didn't think real regular people liked it, and that's what was happening in the dance community at the time. There, you were a backup dancer for a singer, or you were in the background of something, and it made us go, oh, people really like dance. It didn't matter if we were doing a convention for a tractor company or an ambulance company. We're like, look at them, they like us, they're watching. So I give all credit to Culture Shock.
Yeah.
Yeah, that actually was going to be my next question, too, is saying you guys had such a promising future if you would have went the direction you were going as far as medicine and PR. So when did you guys come to the conclusion, you know what, fluff this, let's go to LA?
Well, I mean, he says he wouldn't be doing it if it wasn't for me, because I was more passionately, doing dance when we met. But then I would say we wouldn't be in LA if it wasn't for him, because he's more of the risk taker. I was like, I have a 9-to-5er. Are we going to be able to support ourselves? And he's like, listen, let's take a year off, and then I'll go to med school.
I was
He's
like, fluff that.
let's go.
I said, you're talented. You can make it in LA. Let's go.
And
off we went.
We said, I think there was a little sense of comfort. We were a little bit older. We did have our college degrees, so we didn't feel like if it didn't work out that it was like, oh my God, what else would we do with our lives?
Yeah.
So I think that in our business, that kind of comfort makes you go into a situation and just be who you are and not have to feel desperate,
right?
About the
That's pretty
what
much
you're trying to do.
our mantra, our
philosophy.
Our philosophy is, let's do it until we're not having fun anymore, and then we'll do something new.
Yeah.
Whatever, let's just go for it. Especially mine.
Yeah.
I've done so many things, and people always say, "Oh, you were in the Army? Wow, really? I didn't
He used
know
to
that."
professional jet ski
I was
race.
Jet ski
Oh,
racing.
really?
I
He
raced
used to-
motocross. So many different things, and I just do them until I love them, and then when I'm done, I'm like, eh.
You do them
And
while
I
you
didn't
love them
even-
until you
Yeah.
don't. You mean
What's that?
until you fall out of love? with
Until
it.
I fall out of love with it. Yeah, and then I quit, and then I say, yeah. I'm
Let's
done.
try something new.
And it was the same thing even with actually being a dancer. There was one day that I just said, I just want to choreograph. I don't even want to dance anymore. Doesn't matter who calls. I just don't want to dance. I want to be behind. I want to be developing what that is. And I just made that decision one day, and off we went.
So then what would be your one piece of advice to any up-and-coming dancers, choreographers that maybe don't live in California, or they're overseas, or just another state? What is your advice to them?
Well, if you love dance and you truly love dance, follow your dreams. I mean, anything is attainable, especially nowadays with how popular dance has become. But do it for the right reasons, because it's a tough business. hot and cold, and you're going to get rejections, and as many as auditions you go out, it's not always going to work towards your favor. So you have to love it through and through, because it'll kick you back,
But if you're doing it for the love of it, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's like you would do it anyway, no matter what. You'd find time to do it. We were working, we were going to school, and we still dance. It was 10, 11 at night, and we would start a rehearsal, and it didn't matter. It was like, I get to dance. It's cool. Yeah. It's great. It's like a hobby.
Yeah.
I get to do a hobby for a living.
That's
and I
awesome.
want an Emmy for it.
I know! From molecular biology to Emmy-winning choreographer.
Oh, no!
Right?
It's a good time.
So when you guys did move out here, though, how long was it before you actually booked your first gigs?
Oh, he worked before he even got here. Like, I was so jealous. I was like, oh, when am I going to get a job? Like, it took me a while.
But she was the talented one. The only reason I booked, you were more talented than me. Wow. The only reason I booked was because back then, every audition was, all right, you do a little dance, and then they're like, okay, take off your shirts. And at the time,
he was lean.
I was
and
like,
mean.
yeah, really buff, and not many dancers were. So I was like, I'm gonna book this now. Take off my shirt. I don't even have to dance.
Yeah.
You were a good dancer, baby.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah.
Not like you. Tabitha was phenomenal.
And I can't even argue with that.
It's more difficult for girls, though. There's at an open call audition, there's maybe 300 guys, and there's over 1,200 girls. So.
Yeah, totally oversaturated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that hard, though, when he was working and you were not? Or if there's ever been a spot in your life where one is, how does that affect your relationship?
It doesn't hurt. Like, I'm happy for him, so there's not, like, that jealousy thing. It's just lonely. You're like, oh, he's out on the road for 3 weeks, So, you end up doing something else for a while. In our first year or two, we were, gigging separately. And then I started working for Destiny's Child, and they happened to they were like, oh, we need, like, a Latino or someone, like, because he's half Filipino, Asian. And I was like, I know someone. And he came and auditioned, and then we landed the tour together. And after we worked together like that,
we said we'll never stop.
Yeah, and there's the redhead over to the right. I could not find you, Napoleon. So I
wasn't in this video.
Oh, okay.
It was shortly after this, right?
Yeah, it was after that.
It was right after this that the tour started.
I have another picture right after this one, too, of what I imagine you would have looked like.
Wow, wow. Look at that. Yeah, I used to have the braids in there.
Yeah.
I look like a light-skinned black guy.
I like it, though.
I do, too.
Me too,
I'm not mad at that.
It's kind of cool. But, yeah, we made a pact at that point we would not work separate again.
Yeah.
And we really haven't.
And that's awesome. You work with your best friend and your soulmate.
You know?
Yeah, that's so
And we do what we love. So
I know. What?
It's amazing.
Yeah, we're blessed. We're very blessed. I'm very grateful.
You had also, too, piggybacking off of Destiny's Child, started working with Solange, Beyonce's little sister.
Yes.
I remember at one point in time, one of the dancers had an issue with passports, and you had to dress up like a boy and fill in his spot.
Yes, it was a last minute. They were going to open up for Justin Timberlake in Europe. Solange called me, and she was freaking out because usually, we choreograph it, we set it, the dancers go out and they're on their own, She's like, oh my God, he has issues, and I know what to do. And Napoleon was on another project, so he couldn't fill in. And I was like, she's like, Tabitha, you have to come. And I was like, what am I gonna? That was probably to date some of the. I had the most fun performing because, I got to dress up like a guy. I got to partner with a girl. And,
oh, really?
And, hip hop is, a little thuggish to begin with. So it was like role playing.
Yeah.
And I had so much fun. Yeah. I'll never forget that.
Yeah, she had to wear a beanie over her head and then a hat over it real low so she looked like a guy.
And it's funny because some of the dancers for Justin were friends of mine. And they came out to see the opening act, who's he in the opening act? And they kept going, who is that dude? I've never seen him before. And then I got on stage, I was like, ah!
That's so awesome. I have a video also, too. This is like the embarrassing moments. Back in the day, let's just push play. Let's just push play.
This is truly the one moment I kind of wish I could rewind.
Oh, yes.
And Tara.
Yeah.
And grab.
Wow, you said the snatch and grab.
Yeah, that's an original,
You should do this video again because now you're really a mom and you looked like a mom here 10 years ago.
Oh, that's messed up.
These exercises, and you want to
You look beautiful.
Aww. Okay, so just to redeem you, I do have another video after this. And I will say, while she's pulling up the next video, one of my favorite things about you as a female dancer is that you are capable of dancing like a man. And that's so sexy to me. I don't know why. I love that. So if we can play that video.
That's what you look like during Solange's thing, like a boy, baggy shirt on, hat on.
Musicality, so clean.
We don't move like that anymore, by the way.
Yes, you do.
It just hurts more.
Yeah, actually, Tabitha's still smashing it. Every time we go out and do things in front of a crowd, she hates it, but I'm like, that's a 41-year-old mom right there ripping it. And 18-year-olds are like,
don't say that.
I was like, don't put it out there like
but
that.
you know,
but
it's
then
funny
I'm
because
proud.
every mom in the audience is like, you just gave me a reason to not make an excuse.
Yeah, like a lot of times when we're teaching on these conventions, and I think dance keeps us young-minded, young-spirited, and young physically. When I do get done teaching, I do have a lot of the parents, the moms come up to me afterwards and be like, wow, you're older than I am. Like, I wouldn't have thought, and like, I guess maybe I should go to the gym, and maybe I can take that aerobic hip hop class, and it wouldn't be strange, and and that's kind of cool. Like, I'm happy, I'm proud of my age, and I'm proud, and if I can inspire some of those moms to like get back in and have a good time, that's what it's cool.
I say, you guys, and you still teach conventions. I mean, after all this time, all this success, and a ridiculously crazy schedule, you still fit that in. Why have you continued to do convention work?
We love
to
teaching.
Teach. Love it.
There's nothing more gratifying to me. You when you do a project, generally you don't get it back right away, especially if it's for, say, an artist
or a video
or something. You don't get it back right away, or it's on TV and you wait to see the buzz afterwards, and but something about teaching, you get to look in their eye and see immediately.
Are you connecting?
The connection that they feel and what they give back to you, and the energy they give back to you. There's no feeling like it.
And I think too, for us, it's I want to be a part of each generation. I want to see the kids that are coming up. I want to, if I can influence and share a little nugget of information that I have, to pass it along or push them in the right direction, because those are the dancers that are going to be representing us down the road. And either I'm hiring them, or they better be out there making, a good example for the dance community, so we can continue doing things that we do and love, and people supporting us.
So I want to take a moment. I want to shift gears a little bit, and I want to talk about Nappy Tabs, which is your clothing line. Mm-hmm. But what I love about Nappy Tabs is more so the story behind it. And I'm going to let you tell your story. I'm going to tell my version of the story because, well, a few things. One, I remember because I was in Culture Shock Las Vegas, and you guys coming out with your tank tops when you first started. You're making it out of your living room. I rocked that tank top, and I was so proud. No one knew who you were, but I was just like, yeah.
That's Tabitha's tank top, and she sewed that.
Yeah. But anyways, going back to the other part of the story, and I'm sure you guys had multiple reasons for embarking on that journey, but at one point I had run into you at a convention, and I don't know if you remember this, and I hope I don't get emotional. I was having a very low point in my own career and feeling very defeated and discouraged, because in LA as a dancer, it's a tough world out there. And sometimes it feels like you are just working and working and nothing is happening. And I sat there and you held my face and I cried because I was like, why? And one of the things you said to me was that sometimes you are laying down a foundation and you have no idea. And the second you put your mind somewhere else is when it all happens. So piggybacking off of that, your version of Nappy Tabs.
We honestly started Nappy Tabs because we weren't sure we were going to make it as choreographers. From the time I said, I don't want to dance anymore, I just want to choreograph. And we were choreographing quite a bit. But we were always, our friends were always the people that had the big jobs.
Like the Britneys and the Justins.
Right. And we were teaching with those people alongside them, but we never had the resume. We had like
choreographing
Celine Dion, who doesn't really dance. We had all the things we were choreographing for that nobody actually knew there was anything going on. So we had said, we better start this clothing line. That's one of the reasons.
Well, I mean, we were, as business-minded people, we said, what would we do if we had to take dance out of the equation? We were like, I was 30 or a little older, and we're just like, because it's a reality, you know. I mean,
you might not make it.
Might not make it, you know, at a place choreographically that, you know, we could sustain a lifestyle forever. And we noticed there was like a little niche missing when it came to fashion, and especially streetwear fashion. You know, in the dance conventions that we were a part of, everything was very like leotard, and you know,
before leotards were in, or not leotard, before like leggings and stuff were in.
Yeah, like little leggings and booty shorts and little things, and we're like, but that's not what we wear. And there was nothing really stylish out there, especially from the big dance wear companies. And we were working with, at the time, Capezio to try to help them with their line. Long story short, we came up with a proposal, and it was too aggressive and too, I think, cutting edge for their, you know, their business plan. But they were like, "This is really good. You know what? You should probably do this yourself." And we were like, "Yeah, why don't we?" You know, and literally, we took baby steps. We invested a small amount of money.
It was Tabitha and a couple of our assistants sewing in our house.
Yeah.
And then us going on the road,
in a
throwing
suitcase.
it in the trunk, throwing it on the plane in a suitcase, and selling it out of that. And that's how it began.
And just to see if people would even like it. And I just wanted to offer something stylish and comfortable for the dance community. We live in sweats 24 hours a day. We're in rehearsals, when we're prepping, whatever it is. And you just, after a while, you feel like, God, I feel so slouchy. I want to have a cute pair of sweatpants that look stylish but are functional. You know.
So, and then what you had said to me too, though, is that once you guys really poured your energy into all that, that's when So You Think an ABDC happened.
Yeah,
Totally,
As soon as we like kind of released, going back to what you said, as soon as we released to the universe, like, well, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. We're ready to move on. We still love it. But we have to think differently. Then, like, the floodgates opened.
Everything opened, and all this whole world of dance on TV opened up to us. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
It started with America's Best Dance Group. Well, yeah, it started with that, and then hosting the TLC show.
Yeah.
And we were doing all three of them at one time: America's Best Dance Crew, So You Think You Can Dance, and Rock the Reception. And I remember our agent saying, "You got to pick one."
I was like, "No."
I said, "We're doing all three. This doesn't come along. We're gonna do
I'm
it."
not saying no to anything. I will not sleep. I don't care.
And since then, that's been another thing that we say: well, just keep on doing it, because you never know when this stuff is gonna stop.
Yeah.
Take all the jobs and be grateful you get them.
Yeah.
Big or little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had you guys bring along a tea, so if you could hold that one up for me for people.
Is one of our new baseball tees, the Create tees, and you know, the cut of it is a baseball cut, but then it's got a whole bunch of style to it, like the animal print sleeves and stuff. The front says Create, and on the back it says Hot Eights, which is another way of saying
I get it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Create Hot Eights.
Did I give you guys a Sharpie? I'm going to have you guys go ahead and autograph that one for me.
Yeah,
so what we're going to do is we're going to have a little contest. Napoleon, Tabitha, and I've been so fortunate to creatively work with you guys on a project that I've been promoting. So what I want to do is have a contest. There are ways you can win this autographed t-shirt, so I'm going to give you 3 rules. Rule number 1, you have to go online and follow @Nappy Tabs on Instagram and on Twitter. Rule number 2, Google Global Dance Domination. I'm going to show you guys a trailer. Global Dance Domination. Hit the contribute button. Doesn't matter how much, how big, how little. Hit the contribute button. And when you're done, tweet @Nappy Tabs. I contributed to Global Dance Domination. And on Friday, next Friday, we will pick a winner. You can win this shirt. So let's show. Yeah, let's show the real
shirt.
Well, plus it's autographed. I mean,
You know? And you can make cool Hot Eights.
I know.
New verbiage for everybody outside of the dance community.
Right. Outside of, I'm going to wait for her to pull up the video, but while it's pulling up, I don't know if the music will come on.
I'm Tabitha Dumas.
And I'm Napoleon.
We're husband and wife, and we choreograph and direct.
Baby, if you want me, you got to show me love. Words are so easy to say. You got to show me love. Turn down for what? Turn down for what? Turn down for what?
I'm Alikona Bradford. I'm the creator and one of the hosts for Global Dance Domination.
And I'm Jason J. Carter, and I'm also a host. And you know what? Me and Alikona, we're pretty normal friends.
Yeah. Asian, and I'm here.
That's so good.
I was thinking. We're two hip-hop dancers that happen to be on a pretty awesome mission. We have 72 hours on the clock, and it's a race against time for us to learn a new culture dance each week as we travel to different regions across the globe and attempt to evolve to performance level in 3 short days.
We'll take you on a journey of a lifetime through the fascinating stories and performances of dances that will change your perspective on history and travel. We're professionals, so this should be a piece of cake.
Yeah?
Bruise from yesterday.
A bruise where? Let me see. You can't even see it. That's your studio, actually.
Yes, it's our Nappy Tabs studio.
Can't see a bruise. Black people bruise. Well, because laid off.
Real easy, yeah, we can tell. So, we're two professionals, but we've never trained in any of these genres before. So, with such little time, it's gonna be hard not to look crazy.
Well, maybe for you.
Ah, look who's talking.
I'm on hook.
Don't listen to him. He's full of it. We both spent hours struggling in rehearsal to master this choreo and technique before performance time.
Oh, and we're competing against each other.
So we're diving into a cast with local professionals who've been doing this dance for their whole lives and trying to blend in.
These dances are loaded with cool histories that we'll be sure to share in between the competition.
Throughout the fun and the challenges, we'll explore what makes each of these dances so significant.
Ha! Yeah, she almost broke her ankle.
Locals determine who wins, and they're not always that friendly.
Well, you were dreadful.
Hey, leave me alone! I tried, okay? So there's this wheel of disgust that determines your fate when you lose, and it's not always pretty.
The victorious will win fantastic prizes like deep sea diving in the Great Barrier Reef and skydiving. Ooh, so fun.
Yeah, thanks. Well, the loser gets stuck doing all this really nasty work.
Like picking up crap.
This is one adventure you're not.
So we'll cut the video short. I know that was kind of long, but the point of all that is support our project that we're working on.
Yes, absolutely. I think what I love so much about that is just the education of all, as well as the fun behind it. You're learning these different styles and the culture behind it. You're seeing the locations and where these styles originated. And
People don't
just
realize how difficult it is to just because you say you're a dancer that you
Yes,
can learn
thank you.
every style.
No,
It's difficult.
It's like, apples and oranges. They don't taste the same, even though they're both round.
Right. That's a great analogy. It's very true. And I just like to say, even from my own perspective, I love travel and I watch travel shows, but sometimes after a while, you get tired of seeing people eat all the time.
Right.
So just something new.
Let's work it off.
Yes. But going back to you guys, putting it back all onto you, you've worked with a lot of vocal artists as well. Can you list some of the vocal artists that you've worked with for people who don't know and need to be educated?
Let me see. From older folks like Madonna, I guess.
Did you get
Prince.
nervous? Really
Oh
quick,
my
do you ever
God.
get nervous?
Yes, absolutely. She makes me very nervous.
She's intense.
Oh my God. Yes. She makes me very nervous because she knows exactly what she wants. There's no fluff around, nothing. It's like, no.
Straightforward.
Okay.
Oh.
All right, Madonna, we'll work on something else. Thank you.
Let me see.
But,
Jennifer Lopez. Some
Oh,
of the
the picture,
younger,
yes.
the younger ones.
The cool
yeah,
stuff. I think it's
Jennifer
cool because
Mark.
she found you. You
Yeah,
didn't find her.
You know where she found us?
So You Think.
So
Yeah.
You Think You Can
Yeah.
Dance. Who knew?
The show has been such a blessing for you guys.
Yeah, so many artists. I was surprised to hear how many artists and actors watch So You Think You Can
Yeah,
Dance.
yeah.
It's like their go-to.
That's awesome to be a part
Good
of
for
that.
us.
Such a cool movement to be a part of.
Yeah.
The last thing I want to talk about is Nappy Tabs Plus
Oh,
One.
wait. One
What?
real quick thing.
What?
Recently, who we worked with, which is on
we're
his last
so
couple
excited
videos,
for him and
Ed
so
Sheeran.
proud of him.
So his video dropped last week, or not even last week, this week, and it's already up to like 9 million, and people are going crazy because Ed Sheeran is a guy who's never been in his own music videos ever.
He makes little
does a little
cameos.
short cameo, or he's not in it. He dances the entire
Entire 4
video,
minutes.
4 minutes long, and it's amazing.
Oh, we're so proud of him. So anyway, yes, I just
I just
have
wanna
to put
say,
him
'cause,
in the
yeah,
mix
so proud
because
of Ed
we
Sheeran.
recently did it and just so excited for him.
And because we've never won a Moon Man, and I would love to win a Moon Man.
Just putting it out there.
Just
Just putting
throwing it
more
out there,
juju.
just
More
in
juju.
case.
But yeah, going back to Nappy Tabs Plus One, I think it's really cool for people who don't know you have your own web series. And you guys really allowed people into your intimate lives talking about everything from, sex when you're pregnant to trying to get back into shape. What made you guys decide to be so uncandid when you did this show?
I think we're uncandid always anyway. We just, like with our friends, as you know, we speak, we're just like,
Freely.
whatever, I just say what's on my mind. It don't matter to me.
Yeah,
there's nothing for us to hide, really. So
I think that we were excited about this new chapter of our lives and how we were just as surprised, like, how is it going to affect everything else and working, career, and love life, and baby, and so we kind of just lifted the lid.
Baby.
That's London.
I love that picture.
Our son, London. What an amazing day that was.
Being parents is just so beyond amazing. We talk about all the awards, and the great things, we have had
been blessed to get
in our career, but this is the highlight of my whole life right now.
Yeah.
People will always say, oh, wait till you have a kid. You don't know love till you have a kid. And you're like, yeah, whatever. Of course I'm going to love him. But it's like nothing they ever describe and nothing you ever would imagine.
Until you have it.
Until you have it. So, and you can't tell the next person because they won't get it until they have a kid.
Right.
The love you feel.
We have one other. There's a most current picture.
Yeah, he's
wearing Nappy Tabs sweats.
Yeah,
He's got swag, that little man. I love it. He's already starting to dance and sing. He wants to sing more than anything, I think.
I think so. And
When
he's
we're at
really
rehearsals-
high pitched too. He's like, I was like, whoa, okay, baby. Like a rock and roller, I think,
Been around too many high. This year we were directing Jennifer Lopez's tour and then Julianne and Derek Huff as well. And I think when Julianne and Jennifer sing, he watches it intently. Whoa. So I think he thinks he has to sing high like a girl. Or maybe he just wants to sing high like a girl.
Who knows?
So the last thing I want to talk about, are there any particular artists or gigs that would be like the dream job that you haven't quite gotten yet, but you just are really hoping for?
We started on one. That's a dream job for us.
Yeah. And
a film that the producers are Neil Marin and Craig Zaden. And it's a musical, something that we've always wanted to do with
musical.
Such high profile, amazing producers as well. And we started on it, and then 20th Century Fox took out $10 million from the budget, so we're on hold for a little while.
But hopefully that comes back, because doing that movie musical would really be something exciting, like he was saying. That caliber of producers, the idea of just working on a feature film of that caliber, we've never been a part of something like that. So we're excited for that. Please bring it back.
Yeah.
It'll come. So thank you guys for joining us. Why don't you look right into the camera, tell people again where they can find you on social media sites.
At Nappy Tabs on Twitter and Instagram, and Nappy Tabs on Facebook.
All right, so I'm Alikona Bradford. You can find me at Kiss My Passport. Don't forget to join us for the contest, and thank you guys so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
We will see you next time.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.